Johnny Dollar.
Doesn't this nice weather kind of get under your skin, Johnny?
Who's that?
Make you want to be sitting in a boat on Lake Mojave, hauling in 5- and 6-pound bass? Maybe a really big one?
Buster.
That's right, Buster Favorite.
Where are you? Where are you calling from?
Right here at Lake Mojave Resort. And, Johnny, I've just picked up a new spinning rod and reel that I think you ought to give a workout.
Oh, you dog. You know I have to work for a living, and brother, I mean work.
Isn't it pretty hard, huh?
Too hard.
Well, then it's time for you to relax a bit.
Yeah, I know, but...
Live longer, Johnny. You know the old saying.
What old thing?
The time a man spends in fishing is never deducted from his lifespan. So come on out here for a few days.
Oh, Buster, I'd love it. And if there was some insurance problem that I could use as